Hello, everybody, and I would like to welcome you to The Garage, humanity's last podcast. I'm your host, John, and with me today is Time Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive runner-up of 2023, Kristian.
Ooh, that's good.
And easily the most hideous...
That was, you got ripped off on that, frankly.
I know I did.
Yeah, number one in our hearts. And easily the most hideous-looking human being on planet Earth, and he is, in fact, as tired as he looks, my brother, Ryan Quackenbush.
Do I look tired?
You look real tired.
Jesus.
So off to a swimming start. So Ryan, what do we got in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box? All right, so we have a participant off camera, the unofficial official. In the box we have from Nick's Trattoria, delicious 4 different wood fire pizzas, 4 different varieties. One of which is sausage and peppers. One of which is the hot honey fra diavolo. One of which is the fromage and mushroom. The name I forget. And then there was a 4th one. I don't remember what. Oh, 4th one was tomato pie.
Fromage means cheese, by the way.
Well, yeah, but I don't remember the word for fungi in whatever it was.
Shiitake.
Shiitake. Oh, that might be on there. Anyway, so what we're going to do is all 4 of these are going to be it's a buy, like without a doubt. What we're going to want to do is I want to see what everybody thinks is the best of the 4. Okay. So everybody gets 1 slice. Sorry. Did you just, Genesee?
So we get 1 slice of each kind.
1 slice.
So we're each eating an entire pizza.
Yeah. I hope you're hungry. So it looks like we're starting with sausage and peppers. That was the one that was on top.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is.
Ryan, if you could, just real quick.
Yeah.
Hold the pizza up.
Take a picture of it.
Here, Ryan. Here. You got this, baby, right here. You can use my phone. Beautiful.
That's a lot of pizza.
It's a personal pan.
That's a lot of pizza. I don't know if my little belly's going to be able to hold it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ryan Quackenbush for the first time in the Garage Podcast. Off to a great start.
Technically not my first time, but
on the podcast, yes, it is.
Those are delicious.
I like it.
I do. I'm going to eat some more.
Also, guys, real quick, we added for the food reviews, we've added a mileage to it besides a buy, a met, or a not buy. The second part is how far would you drive? And it's like highway driving. So how many miles highway driving? Suggested by Glenn. Glenn brought this up. How many highway miles, which is basically how many minutes you drive for this pizza. Just something to think about.
For this exact pizza? Well, first off, it's a buy. Without a doubt.
Where is this located?
About 3 minutes from my house. I can walk there, and it probably takes longer to drive there.
Can you Grubhub it?
The address of Nick's Trattoria is 1 Springhurst Drive, East Greenbush, New York.
I need a plate for all the shit that's falling off.
No, you got to eat it. Don't worry, it's just epoxy and chemicals and.
It's wet, ain't it?
Sawdust. Sawdust. It's all good.
It's nice. That is nice.
Personally, I don't ever really venture out to pick up a pizza. I usually like to have it delivered. 30 minutes or less, so Domino's, typically.
You'd have to Grubhub this.
Can you Grubhub it?
Yeah.
I would absolutely Grubhub this pizza.
Or DoorDash or whatever.
I would run to my door for it.
This one, I would drive, for this pizza, 20 minutes? I'd probably drive 20
This
minutes.
particular one, I'd go 20 probably, yeah. The red peppers don't do much for me. I'm not a big red pepper guy, but...
I prefer something a little spicier on the pizza. So this one's kind of working for me. It's just a fry. It's just a kind of like a mild fry. Which
Sausage and peppers.
Oh. So it's a sausage just giving you that little hoo-ha.
The Fra Diavolo has like a hot honey, but it's also got a bunch of different meats on it. Sopressata. It's delicious.
Well, that's pretty good.
And I will say, this has sat for a little bit. When you get it there, the crust.
Sizzling.
It's delicious. It is. It's wonderful.
This gives the delivered point of view for John.
But you know what? Yeah. A cold pizza, to me, is 90% of a hot pizza. And if it's a good quality, like ingredients like this one, I don't feel like I'm losing anything. Having it a little cold.
We'll reheat our pizzas on like a skillet on the oven top.
Hell yeah.
And that brings all that crisp right back. Gives the oils of the pizza itself.
Sometimes I'll give it a little.
You're not showing up for me.
Yeah, I don't hear you at all, bro.
Good, that's a good thing.
Sometimes I'll give it a little.
It's because I muted myself.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll
So-
give myself a little wake up in the microwave first to kind of warm it through, and then I'll crisp it on the skillet.
Smart. That gets the top all done too, which is nice.
I air fry it.
Yep.
We don't have one. Good option though.
If your oven has convection, you have an air fryer.
Okay, well, while we're enjoying these delicious pizzas, thanks to Ryan, sort of question I like to ask anybody who comes into the Garage Podcast for the first time. And Kristian, you are the closest to me, so I'm going to ask you first.
Okay.
Where's your favorite place to cry?
My favorite place to cry? Man, I don't know. I would probably say, I don't know, like Stella's room, probably.
Is she in there with you, or do you just go up there by like yourself?
Dad, will you get out?
Stella's.
I need a minute.
Let me gear up for the day. No, she says a lot of really like sweet things, and she's been on a roll lately, and I'm like, what?
She is a sweet kid.
So we've been like sick at the house, and so I haven't been able to like hug her or anything. And so then finally today, she just was all about hugging.
We're all about hugging here in the Garage Podcast.
I mean,
Ryan?
you said that, and no.
Yeah, well, where's your favorite place to cry?
Oh,
In the shower.
it's hard to narrow it down.
In the,
How do you
in the
narrow it
basement
down?
next to the one lead pipe you had with the monkey wrench?
I don't know. I don't really. I don't.
I don't cry.
Probably, I mean, I don't. I don't know. I guess there's some movies that I like cry to, like that. The ending of Big Fish
I think, yeah. That
kills me. Like when he picks up his dad, and he's carrying it. They're like, oh, every time.
Yep.
So I guess the couch, because that's where. But it's not like my favorite.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's the most convenient. That's just where the tears.
I mean, that's where I am because that's where the whatever generally the film is, and
So it's movies that make you cry, is what you're saying.
I don't. I'm not like breaking down on a daily basis. You ask this. Do you have someplace in mind?
I ask anybody that comes in. I want to get to know you guys better, and sometimes I regret asking, like right now. But for the most part, I feel like I get to know my family.
He's trying to get you to be vulnerable.
Yeah, open up.
I feel to be vulnerable right now.
Like an onion.
I don't know. Honestly, it's probably anywhere that I'm hit with extreme amounts of
A brick.
Yeah, just right to the back of the head. Now, what's the word for nostalgia? Nostalgia gets me.
Reverie.
Nostalgia and yeah, I guess reverie.
Do you find that hits you a little bit more now that you're climbing up there in age? You get like those
well, now that I
pangs
think
a little bit?
kids have impacted that more. Like things that I wouldn't normally have thought about or reacted to. Kids have changed. They don't change anything. Then they change everything.
They change you.
They change. Yes, they do.
Okay. Well, great start, guys.
So next on the list we got. Ooh, my favorite. I actually haven't had this before. I've only had their pasta dish, but it is a mushroom, and it looks like garlic. The garlic might have ended up on this. Mushroom, garlic, cheese, something or other. I'm very excited about this one. I've not had it. I've only had their mushroom dinner, but it was absolutely their pasta, homemade. They make homemade pastas from scratch, delicious, and yeah. You're staring at this. Do you like mushrooms?
I love mushrooms, but they make my stomach not feel good.
So do you want to pass on this one? We're not going
I
to
mean,
think
it's
less
like
of
a
you.
gamble. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on this one. You want more from me?
I'm not passing. Picture.
I think, you know what? I think I want to pass on this one too.
What the fuck?
Excuse me. I like mushrooms. I'm just, I'm looking forward to the other two, and I don't think I have it in my tiny
Looks
stomach.
like you get to take it home. That's kind of cool.
That's fine by me. Brendan, do you want a mushroom piece?
I'll get there
Hey,
after.
can you hear us chewing or no?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, since we're not chewing, maybe you and I can carry the load on this conversation a little bit. So, if you could live anywhere in the universe other than planet Earth, where would that be? Where would you go? I mean,
universe.
yeah. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be a planet that we know.
Does it have to be real?
I mean, given if you subscribe to the infinite universe, then I think eventually probably exists somewhere.
You want me to describe where I would want to live? I feel like that.
I mean, we could all close our eyes. Everybody out there want to close your eyes and go on a little adventure with Kristian?
I think for me it would be like a hybrid of like my favorite places on Earth is what I would say. So think of like white sand beaches of like the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
Waves crashing. There has to be a lot of ocean. I'm very much a beach person.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah. I also like Colombia. So Colombia has a lot of like tropical and jungle. So I would say like jungle leading into like a beach. Mm-hmm. If that planet was mostly that and not cold and no snow, then I think I'd be pretty happy. So as long as there's water sports and things to do and lots of sun, I should be okay.
That was nice. Little meditation right there.
It's very zen.
What about you, Ryan?
I don't know. I love that, by the way. Were you taking video of me? Were you taking awkward video? Is that what you're giggling? No. This, by the way.
I was laughing because Kristian said water sports.
What's wrong with water sports?
Nothing.
Jet ski?
We don't shame here, buddy.
Yeah. Whatever your kink is, bro.
I would drive 45 minutes for this pizza.
That's an hour and a half each.
So you're saying that's a 45 miler?
I do. This is a Batisti's drive. That's delicious.
I've never driven 45 minutes for a pizza ever.
John, you don't drive.
Comment below if you would drive 45 minutes for a pizza.
John wouldn't drive 5 minutes for anything.
For a pizza, I would drive 5 minutes.
No, you wouldn't. You just said.
You just said you wanted it
said,
delivered.
no, I want to deliver.
I would prefer to have it delivered. Like, who here would want to get out of their pajamas when they're going to eat their pizza and have it brought to your door?
You can't change it. You can't change it. Anyway, so
Let it change.
back to your original question. Where would I live? Okay. If it's real, like if it exists right now, I don't know. My bucket list, one of my top items on my bucket list has been to step on every continent before I die. So in terms of narrowing it down globally, where we can end up, anywhere, everywhere. Tibet would be one place where I would love to. I'd love to go. I'd love to go to Tibet.
I believe the question, though, was anywhere in the universe, not necessarily on planet Earth. But we're sticking to planet Earth.
If I can step on the surfaces of places and not die, then every major,
that would be the goal.
Yeah, every major moon would be in the solar system would be pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Since there's 80 moons in Jupiter and like 120 something on Saturn.
The radiation at Jupiter, though, would probably cook you pretty.
I mean, the radiation of all the gas giants, including the ice giants, would kill you. But barring radiation, I'd love to be able to see all that. Or I am watching a TV show called The Wheel of Time. Big fan of the book series. Season 3 has gotten amazing. It is some of the best TV I've ever seen. I'd love to go to the Wheel of Time world, as long as I didn't get completely annihilated.
You were a big fan of the books growing up, right?
I still am. Amazing. Season 3 has done a very good job of adapting the books closer to the source material. Still some creative differences, but that's all right.
So how many books in are they when we're in season 3? Like, what do we?
This is the fourth. There's primarily the fourth book.
And how many books total are there?
Including the encyclopedias?
Yeah.
16.
Okay, so we're looking at like 15 years of television.
They're going to try to do it in 8 seasons.
Oh, wow.
But they have 8 episode seasons. I don't understand how they're going to do that. They whittle. There's also extensive parts of this that can be like removed. But yeah, that's one world I'd love to go to.
Okay, Ryan wants to go to the Wheel of Time world.
I think it'd be pretty gnarly.
Okay, you would be a wielder of magic in this situation here?
I mean, hey, if we're inventing ourselves, yeah,
This
put
is
me up in that.
escalating.
I thought Kristian's just like, I just want to go on the beach.
I just want
to sit on the beach and play water
I
sports.
just want to drink ramen.
Personally, I like Kristian's world.
I want to go jet skiing, bro.
You know, I could definitely get down with that.
There you go.
Yeah. What are you drinking there, buddy?
I'm trying to pour this carefully.
Okay, so you said that every place does this. So
Kristian was unaware that you can get to-go drinks from the vast majority of restaurants in our area. I think the rule is you have to have food. You have to have ordered.
I can be like, I'll take chicken tenders and
a rum and coke.
a rum and coke. And I'll be like,
Hypothetically,
cool.
yes.
I'll have to try this out.
So this is also from Nick's Trattoria.
This is for my daughter, Stella.
This is also from Nick's Trattoria. This is a Basil Hayden Old Fashioned, which is one of my favorite bourbons and my favorite drink. And they make a delicious one. I don't even need to take a sip to tell you this. It's a buy.
I thought Old Hudson Bay was your best favorite bourbon.
No, Hudson Baby Bourbon.
So now you have two favorites?
Except Hudson Baby Bourbon is no longer in production.
You can't have two favorites, though.
Hudson
it's
Baby
not
Bourbon
around
is no
anymore.
longer
I
in
mean,
production.
technically you can't, but I think, there's
Okay,
no
let me
rules here.
rephrase. I'll rephrase. Basil Hayden is my favorite bourbon that is available at Nick's Trattoria.
Thank you. Just here for the facts, dude. This has to be a factually correct.
I mean,
Basil
We have a
Hayden
lot of people
sounds
correcting
like
us.
the
Really?
word that you would use to cast a spell. If you say Basil Hayden with integrity,
If somebody wanted to be in Harry Potter world, perhaps Basil Hayden would be the expecto Basil
right.
Hayden.
All of a sudden, chairs are floating around.
Or it'd be like a professor's name who taught
Oh, I can see that too.
Botany,
potions and swimming.
swimming in potions.
If you shrink down, they make you
Swimming in
Basil Hayden.
Oh, this is an invisibility. Oh, boy.
Probably burn though, swimming around like in a Basil Hayden Manhattan or whatever, old fashioned or whatever you're drinking.
You'd
I'd
sink
probably
pretty
kill the
quick.
germs.
There's hope for us yet.
Okay, well there you go.
That's tomato.
I like how you kicked the question back to me. I appreciate that. So if I could go anywhere in the
mean to.
universe, I'd probably request getting there in like the Millennium Falcon, right? And I'd probably bring Ryan along with me.
Oh,
And then I would get,
Why?
I'll tell you why. I would get as close as I possibly could, safely could, to the nearest neutron star. And
You couldn't get
I
safely
would-
close to that.
You can get close enough.
You
And
can't
I
get
would,
safely
I would
close to that.
Suit Ryan up. I would put some sort of sleeping cocktail in his Basil Hayden old fashioned, and we'd fly close to that neutron star, and then I would push him out, and then I would see whether or not it's true that spaghettification happens. I figure with the black hole you wouldn't see it because there's not a light, but
Are we at a neutron star or are we at a black hole?
there's like a big
Tomato,
enough neutron
tomato.
star is like it's like pushing the boundary between black hole and not black hole. So I think.
dude, I don't know why you guys. Sure.
Comment below if you think that black holes are just really heavy neutron stars.
Google it first.
No.
Well, they're super dense. Like there's
They're
not.
super dense, but neutron stars are about the size of a city block. They can't get smaller than that. That's a black hole is literally the absence.
because they became from a star when it went supernova that wasn't quite big enough to go to a black hole.
That's not true. That's
It
not,
is
that's
true.
Not,
That's-
that's not what forces. That's not what creates a neutron star.
Yes, it is.
It's a different process.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a supernova.
Champagne supernova.
Okay.
That's a good transition. Next
I think
pizza?
Brendan's Googling it.
Fact check.
So we're gonna do the Fra Diablo now.
What does that translate? Does that mean hot? Has Diablo?
It's this is spice, but it's not like gonna burn your face off. It's not like the jerky.
Oh my God! Thank God.
Did you need a picture?
What's on the top? Is this prosciutto?
Prosciutto.
I like that.
It's delicious.
I'd drive 10 minutes for that.
Holy jeez, John, really? Wow. Brendan, how far away do you live
25 minutes.
from Nick's?
Yeah.
Would you drive to
How
get
much-
this?
How much further would you go?
That's a 40-miler.
Really?
Maybe one, like every other month, I wouldn't go out of
See, but you'd have to eat it on your way back.
No, I'd eat it there.
Oh, well, that's different. That's like going out to eat. I drive 45 minutes to go out to eat.
That's what it is, yeah. I drive 40 minutes to go get this pizza.
I don't ever if I'm going out to eat, I don't typically go to a pizza place. Pizza is like eat at home food.
They
This
have
is not a typical pizza place.
they have phenomenal Italian food as well.
Homemade pastas.
A guy that I worked with said
Oh,
that
homemade?
A guy that I work with said they have the top 5 chicken parms he's ever had in his life. So
It's up there.
Top 5. Top 5.
Yep.
I like chicken parm.
I regret not having my drink with me.
I offered you a seltzer, bud.
No.
You want one?
Oh, John coming in clutch. Thank you.
Look at that.
That was my fallback seltzer.
All right, guys, I do want to say I have looked up the difference between a black hole and a neutron star.
Yes.
I don't really know the difference, but
Me neither.
the key difference is black holes are when massive stars collapse under its own gravitational pull,
Correct.
causing its core to shrink to a point of infinite density called singularity.
That's right.
This process occurs when the star's nuclear fuel is depleted, and the inward gravitational force surpasses the outward pressure of nuclear fusion.
As soon as it starts fusing iron.
Whereas
When it
a
happens.
neutron star formed from the remnants of the star's core after a supernova explosion.
Oh, so both happen with a supernova?
During the explosion, the outer layers of the star are expelled into space, leaving behind a highly dense core composed primarily of neutrons.
Yeah, but they're both supernova.
But they're not the same thing.
That's not what we said. We know they're different.
No. You were saying dumb.
No, what I said. And we can rewind the tape.
He's probably right. He's probably right.
Yeah, I don't care. Anyway, I'd push you off into the space, and I'd watch you slowly descend and pick up gradual speed until you're going faster and faster. And then you land on a neutron star, and I'll get a little giggle out of it.
What would you tell your mom?
Yeah.
Probably her idea.
Oh, boy.
How far would you drive?
20. It was delicious.
I
I don't like spicy things. So
I would drive to the nearest neutron star.
Touche, you were right. Good call. You never steer me wrong, Brendan.
Now imagine if you could big old honks of garlic on there, and it's way better.
Here. Take a piece of garlic right here. Grab that guy. Little
Make sure
honk.
there's no mushroom residue on it.
Get a honk.
Hey, Christian, have you ever given any thought to if you could, like, if you had to change your name? Think if you had to go like into hiding, like witness protection.
Crocus.
What was your first? I mean, maybe you thought about your whole first and last name, but what would you think you'd change your name to?
I really, I liked Diego Gallego because it flowed. It just sounded,
That's awesome.
I think you had the ready answer.
no, I think yeah, it's really
So
funny.
you keep the same last name?
Yeah, because it flows. Diego Gallego.
I mean, that would be like the ultimate curveball. Like if anybody was looking
It's
for, it,
like
wouldn't think that.
borderline. It's like borderline douchey, but also like spy or like mysterious.
I see you walking around with a collared shirt, buttoned, stop buttoning right there, your chest hair poking out. Are you a gold guy or are you a silver guy?
Gold.
Okay, gold chain,
Oh, gold. Everything.
gold golf balls.
That's true. Gold balls. My dad. Let me chew my food. So it's funny because I'm not a big jewelry person, but everyone in my family from South America is. My dad, multiple gold chains, like come pick me up from school. And man, and it's tough because like your family will be like, "Oh, here you go," and they give you like a nice ring, and I'm like, "This is beautiful." I'm also, when am I going to wear this? Where I'm not going to get jacked or like, it's really nice, but. Yeah, my dad was all about the gold. It was super funny.
I noticed you're not wearing any jewelry now. This would have been a good.
Well, he's got his pants on.
Christian, drop your pants.
You can't go through a metal detector right now.
Don't call him Uncle
Do not
Albert
get in
for
it.
nothing.
Do not go near a magnetar.
What is that?
A magnetar is like a really scary neutron star.
That's all right.
It's true.
That should be your name.
Magnetar. Man, that's what I wanted my name to be.
Now I'd go with Diego Gallego.
No, that is good, and I like that you had it ready. I've been thinking.
Well,
about
do you have a name ready, Ryan?
I don't. I have. I like my name.
Yeah, but the scenario is here. You have to change it.
I have to change it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pass. I'll come back to it. What about you? What's yours?
What's mine? I probably just reverse my name.
Naj.
Naj.
All right.
Oh, I was like Quackenbush John.
Yeah, no Naj.
It's like, all right.
Like Naj.
What about you, Brandon?
Pretty sure my mom and dad were
Would
going
you
to.
change your name? Yeah. Well, if you had to.
I'm not on this episode, so just live life
Oh,
without
you
me.
keep jumping into it. I feel
Sorry.
like you. All right.
Well, now that we've asked you, narrator.
I mean, I'm mildly curious.
What would I change my name to?
Yeah.
You got to go something right? Assuming this is on the assumption that like I'm gonna die if I don't change it to something. good.
Somebody's on your tail, man. You got to change your name.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to go like Steve Swider.
Ooh, alliteration.
Yeah,
Is there any? What's the nexus of that?
I work with a guy named Steve Swider.
Oh, so you want him to get the? Hey man, can you like be just Brendan for a couple days?
I want to be named.
It'd be fun.
Well, it's also like a layer of protection, right? From there, they have a 50-50 shot of getting it right.
It's like when the Terminator's trying to kill John Connor and he's looking for all the
So like maybe like
See?
John
played, dude.
Smith or something would probably be like the safest.
It would, but it also sticks out. You know, you'll be like, that guy came in and said his name was Andrew Smith, and his middle name was also Smith. That doesn't make sense.
Andrew Smith.
Smith.
Smith squared.
Malkovich.
Hey Christian,
Yeah.
what's the most depressing meal you've ever eaten?
Jesus. What?
The most depressing.
Where are you
meal?
crying while you're eating this meal? Bud?
No, like you just like you got to go get groceries. You don't feel like getting groceries. Or you have nothing in the fridge.
Like I'm depressed while I'm eating, or like the food's making me depressed.
I think it's just like a turn of phrase.
A sad
Right.
meal.
It's not necessarily I'm like-
a really bad meal.
I'm not
think
up
what
in
he
you're not up in
means
Stella's room crying.
Is I've taken like tortillas and put American cheese on them and
Exactly.
microwaved them to eat
Yep.
them. That's how sad my life was at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
gotcha,
Stuff like
gotcha, Okay. Because my first answer was gonna be like eating at a funeral. My saddest. I don't know, dude. I'm just happy to have food, to be honest. So I don't think anything's super depressing. As a kid, I really loved tortillas and butter.
Okay.
Like loved. Like ate a ton. Like that was always my go-to. Would come home from school and I'd be at my friend's house and his mom would always have like tortilla and butter for us. And then I brought that home. My mom's like, "Where'd you get this?" I was like, "In the streets." But I was like, hanging out with a friend. I was like, I don't know. I'm like, Raul's mom does it and it tastes delicious.
I mean, it's butter on anything. It's like salted butter or unsalted butter. Like, what are you doing there?
Unsalted butter is pointless unless you're baking.
I don't even do it. Honestly, it could have been margarine. Who knows? I don't know.
You can't believe it's not butter.
That's okay. See, that's actually really good though. I grew up on that, and now I'm like, I feel like my life has changed now that I've moved here. Actually, since meeting Nicole, because I'm like salted butter, unsalted butter. Can I tell you a story about food?
Of course.
Okay.
Don't look at me.
The floor is
Oh,
yours.
sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. All right,
Christian,
my bad.
I'm literally.
I'm staring up. Why is that fool
You
keep
have
staring
other
up?
people in
All right.
This is humanity's last podcast. We talk about.
So this is a funny story about steak. Okay, so when Nicole and I started dating, she was like, "Oh man, we should do let's go to like a really good steak dinner."
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And she's like, noticed that I wasn't excited about it. She's like, "Why are you not excited?" I'm like, "I just feel like steak's overrated." And so we didn't know. She didn't know why. And like, I don't know. I'm like, my dad's always cooked steak, and he's always cooked it all the way through, and it's just really hard to chew.
There you
and
go.
So then she said, "Oh, that's because you're doing it wrong." And so for one of our dates, she bought all different types of cuts and made me all the different steaks.
And that's when he knew.
Wow.
And I was like, "Damn, you're a keeper, girl." It was so good, and then it changed my life because now I'm like, "Oh man, we've been doing it wrong. Damn, my dad's wasting a lot of money on steak. What the hell?" And so then fast forward, my parents come to visit, and I'm like, "Hey mom, we're gonna make steak. It's gonna be great." And I looked, and I bought like nice, like marble, like expensive. And then my dad's like, "Yeah, burn it." And I was like, "And it's a waste of money."
Is that how your dad likes the steak?
Yeah, he doesn't know any different.
Okay.
I think. No offense, Dad.
Well, you know what? I think this is a more interesting question than the one that I asked. Then, what is your favorite cut, and how do you want it cooked?
Medium rare. I like ribeye because of the cap.
Yeah.
The cap is like to me is like the best part. So
What were you, Ray?
Oh, prime rib, medium rare, 100%. If I'm talking accoutrements with that, horseradish sauce. If I want to get occasional dip, would be nice. A horseradish cream sauce. I really like sautéed mushrooms.
No, is his mic working?
Yeah, I can.
I really like sautéed mushrooms.
I love sauteed mushrooms.
Um,
What a nice addition to a prime rib. The
It's,
sauteed
I mean, it's a nice addition to every steak. I gotta say, if I have a steak, I want sauteed mushrooms with
Yeah.
it. But that's, specifically with a prime rib, having like a horseradish cream sauce on the side for the occasional dip is that's pretty killer. But speaking of when you were talking about your dad, we'll come to what your favorite cut is in a second. When I was a kid, I always dreaded when we were gonna have steak for dinner because that's the one time Mom would have Dad cook it for us. And you would have to sit there and chew it. Do you remember how
Forever.
you have to chew it forever? And it was like, this is horrible.
Yeah,
because I'm sure part of it's like my dad's not the greatest cook in the world. Sorry, Dad, it's true. But then there's also the fact that my mom's probably like, you have to make sure we cook it so we don't kill the kids. Like,
cook it all the way through.
so
I feel like the advent of the instant read thermometer
it was like,
has really helped my cooking of the steak game.
it's like, here's my dad's steak
It's true. You're there for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it hurts your job.
per piece. It was awful.
My mom is funny because now when my mom has steak with us, she's like, "Nah, don't cook it like him. Cook it like you guys cook it." And so my mom, like, she's like, we converted her, and she goes, "Yeah, your dad's doing it wrong."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you also.
So now I get my dad cheap cuts, and I'm like, "Nah, dude, you get like."
Well, there's a time and a place for a cheap
Yeah.
cut, and it's not necessarily cooking it on the grill. That's a low and slow
Yeah.
type cut.
He doesn't care. He's just like, he's
Which
just thankful.
pot roast, well,
Pot roast
it's
is
tough to beat a
amazing.
pot roast. You cook it 10 hours and it's just so good. Butter. But I think I'm going to have to piggyback with Ryan there. I'm going to go with the prime rib too. For the longest time, I would say filet,
Filet's fine.
Filet's
You know what you're
fine.
getting.
I like it on the meat. I feel like the beef fat is a little bit too, like, if I get like a vein, I don't like having to work. Whereas like pork fat, and I feel like it like breaks down a little bit more. Duck fat is a little more like just delicious. Whereas like beef fat is more bubblegummy, kind of rubbery. So that's why I like the filet. But if you cook it long enough, that's not an issue. Like the marbling becomes like the highlight of the steak, So, but a prime rib,
That's why ribeye is so good because it basically starts to melt.
yeah, and that's a ton of flavor.
Ugh.
Exactly.
Ribeye second for me.
Maybe I just haven't had a good prime rib then. 'Cause I think that might.
We should go to Century House here on Route 9 locally.
I do like T-bone. T-bone's good too, though, because you got the sirloin on the one side, and I mean that's nice.
Comment below what your favorite
just a
cut of
lot.
beef is.
What about
and
you?
How you like it?
I know you're not on this technically, but
I'll tie it up. Ribeye all day. Rare to medium rare.
How many ounces?
I
All
like
of them.
thick. I like thick.
as much as you can get.
Thick cut steaks. At least. An
If
inch
you're
and
if
a
you're doing
half.
medium rare, they have to be thick.
It's got to be at least an inch and a half
Otherwise-
to 2 inches,
Hey,
which is we call it the double Brendan in our house. Similar to your vein, accoutrement. Potatoes are great. Caramelized onions, mushrooms.
caramelized onions, yeah.
Very slept on.
I could live without the caramelized onions if they came out. I'm gonna eat them. But if they weren't there, I don't think I'd.
You know what? With caramelized onions, I prefer it with like a T-bone. Don't care about it with a ribeye.
Yeah.
I would like to refute real quick on the grill. I cook it in a pan and then finish it in the oven.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cast iron,
Absolutely.
then you
100%.
bake it.
But Bob prefers on the grill, New York strips, well done.
See, but he's like a burger
I
hot
think
dog
he-
guy, so I'm
yeah,
not surprised by that.
He's come back from well done. I think he likes it more medium well on that side, but he prefers it on the grill. He does not.
That's
like,
because he likes hamburgers, and that's I think
he doesn't
that's-
like flavor. That's
Yeah.
his problem.
Does he take his hamburgers well done?
Yeah, I think.
Or
he's-
just how they
he's-
ever
I think
come?
he's edged back towards medium well now.
Okay.
So what's the advantage of doing it in a pan and then in the oven?
It's crust. It gets the sear.
Yeah, it's the Maillard browning effect. So you get a nice crust on the whole
Okay.
thing. You know those grill lines?
Yeah.
You want them all over the entire surface. That locks in your
Yeah.
your flavor and everything else.
Emulsive.
And then you slow cook it in the oven to finish it off after. Or you can reverse sear where you cook it and then sear it.
You know what
I'm gonna have to
I've
try that.
struggled with that method, Brendan, is I get a good sear on like my cast iron.
Yep.
And then I put it in, and then I watch my steak like a freaking hawk, because I've noticed that it's like I take it out and I check the
So like
internal
this.
temperature. Yeah, exactly. I take it out of the oven, I check the temperature, it's 90 degrees. I put it back in the oven, I wait a minute, I take it out, it's like 120. That's how fast it comes to temperature. And like you want to take it out, if you want a medium rare, you want to like take it out at 120.
That's how I screw it up every time is I overdo it.
Yeah.
I have to learn to do times and just stick to the time, because I'll be like, there's no way this is done. And then I wait and it comes out, I'm like, this is now medium.
It's a push test.
It's depressing
Yeah.
to overcook a steak when you want it a certain way.
Still tastes good though.
It does, but
It's just
You're like, I'm
it's-
going to eat it.
It does suck because it's like it's not cheap. It's expensive, and you're looking forward to it, and it smells amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to do a good job because you want to do a good job. So there you go.
Totes my goats.
What did he say?
Oh, well, yeah, I wish you had a hawk scream for that whole conversation.
Oh,
I watch it like a bird.
Smoke weed every day.
We'll find it.
That's not.
We'll find it.
That's a weird.
Christmas
Is that a red
tree!
tail? What was that?
That's the California quail.
Oh, it's a California quail. Oh, delicious eggs.
I wish I could do like an eagle impression. You know,
You can do it. You can do a loon. Can't you?
I
can you
can
still
but-
do it?
Yeah, sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes?
Well, if my hands are dry, which they are, then you don't get a good whistle.
cracked and ooey.
Exactly. Thank you for
I get little boo boos.
a little ouchies.
Little ouchies.
Hey, Kristian, do you play video games?
Yes.
Okay. I guess then we can ask this question because
Leisure Suit
everybody
Larry.
here does play.
Oh no.
Shape up or slip out. What game?
Dude, out of the bin.
What game have you spent the most hours playing like in your lifetime? Like, or
In my life,
what game did you put like the most hours in to either beat? However you want to answer that question.
I would say Resident Evil.
The original, like on PlayStation.
Like that whole arc and story. I can play that all the time. But yeah, I would say Resident Evil is a good one. I remember my uncle Bernie worked at like
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie
Weekend at Bernie's.
Uncle Bern. He worked. It used to be a software boutique, so then turned into a GameStop. That's like I'm dating myself, obviously, but
That's pretty sweet.
yeah. So he always had like the coolest stuff. So he had a PlayStation, and then he's like, "This is Resident Evil. Don't play this at night by
Yeah.
yourself." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But I couldn't sleep, so then I started playing.
You
it.
have to play it at night because like
dude.
like the light of like the daytime glare on the TV, the mood isn't there.
I almost crapped my pants. There was like the
Mood's
point
not there.
where the zombie dog
Gotta
jumps
get the
in.
mood.
Oops, I crapped my pants.
Oops, I grabbed my pants.
They got a button for that? No.
Smoke weed on Tuesdays.
Anyway, so yeah, I would say Resident Evil. Currently, I love anything like Star Wars, Fallen Order, and Survivor.
Oh, those were great games.
So good.
I 100%ed
I'm stuck
those.
on those right now.
I actually recently just played them again because Fallen Order came out. So before I bought the Fallen Order, I played Jedi Survivor.
So you went backwards?
No, I started Survivor first and then played Fallen. I'm saying
You played like this. Just-
I knew it was coming out, so I
No,
played
but
the first one.
Fallen Order's first, and then it's Survivor.
I got them confused.
Oh, okay, I'm just making sure.
I played them sequentially.
Oh, okay.
But before I played the new one, I played the old one, and so I could play the new one. And when I beat the new one, this is the first game in my life that I've ever immediately gone back and did New Game Plus and played it again all the way through. I enjoyed it that much.
I found out that I found this out recently that Boba Fett, if like you do all the bounty hunter missions, like Boba Fett shows up in the storyline somehow.
No shit.
Yeah, I have to go back and play it. That and Spider-Man 2. The Spider-Man 1, the Miles Morales Spider-Man, and Spider-Man 2 are also the ones that
Okay.
I've been super. put
So
in time
horror games
in like comic book games
and comic book games and Star Wars.
and Star Wars. Yeah.
Awesome.
Curious. So you guys played the original Nintendo. You're a little bit young over there. You probably didn't. You child. Speaking of jumping right in and starting a new game, the original Zelda.
Oh yeah.
When you beat the original Zelda, you started over again.
Yep.
But the entire game was different.
Different. Yep.
Did either of you ever play it a second way?
I gave it a whirl, and I think I ended up giving up on it because half of Zelda, like for example, if you're looking for like your container hearts, you're sitting there with the candle and you're burning every bush on the entire map, everywhere. You're pushing on all the rocks. You're bombing all of like the faces of all the things, looking for those secret shops, and you spent so much time memorizing where it was in the first quest. And by the time I didn't want to go through it again.
I feel like that's genius though, because you can always play that game, but it's never the same.
Yeah, there was a Nintendo Power. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember this. There was like the editor, and it would say like, "What's your favorite game?" and like, "What's your greatest gaming accomplishment?" And one of the editors said that he beat the first and second quest without dying, and I always thought that was the coolest thing.
I can't even imagine that.
Crazy.
The not dying part. I mean, it's not the most difficult game once you get the hang of it, but knowing where everything is in the second quest
Yeah.
is impressive to me.
Sounds
So
good.
Ryan,
Sounds
what
good.
game did you end up playing like the most?
Oh, definitely the Dragon Warriors when I was a kid.
Yeah, do you have one in particular that stands out to you?
I mean, I'm going to say Dragon Warrior 1, but not because it was like, this is the greatest game ever, but because we couldn't figure out how to get the Rainbow Bridge.
There was like a
So-
swamp that we had to search in to find the key or whatever to get us into that last castle.
You're supposed to be able to beat this game at like level 20, and we had our characters smelly up to like level 80 something.
It was like we one hit the final boss or something like that. It was like it was so easy. It was smelly with one L.
one L. Was smell because you couldn't put more than enough characters.
That was
So probably that, but that was not because I desired it. But
yeah.
so I don't know, probably Dragon Warrior 3, maybe 4.
Sorry, guys. It's my bad.
Tomato pie, top shelf.
Yeah, I like the tomato pie.
Tomato pie.
Oh wait, go ahead.
I'm gonna give this. I suppose if I had gotten this like right out of the oven, I would really enjoy this. It's delicious. It's a buy.
One of them might want it because they didn't eat the.
I'm good. You have it, Brian.
I'm good. Go
Go
ahead.
for it, bud.
Okay.
And I would give this. I'd drive 10 to 15 minutes for this pizza.
Let's stick with 20. It's good.
It's a good pie.
It's good cold too.
It is.
I can't say offhand what game that I think I've played the most or the most amount of hours. You know, Steam keeps track of your playtime for certain games, but sometimes I pause it and then it skews it and it makes it look like I played like 1,000 hours when I know I haven't. You know,
Yep.
but maybe the game that sticks out to me the most that I probably spent a lot of time was a dungeon crawl. It was called Ultima Underworld.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was one
one or two.
one, the Stygian Abyss, and it was I think the first. I don't know what the first 3D game. Somebody comment below what the first 3D game was, but it was up there. It was breaking ground, and just the music and the atmosphere of
That was a great game.
walking around and trying to find stuff. That was that's in my top 5. Put a lot of hours into that one.
How do you feel about first person?
Bang
This
bangs,
was.
shooters.
So like, I like the Far Cry series, and I love them because you could just see hands. But it's also like James Bond, GoldenEye,
Oh yeah,
same thing.
great game.
Some people like it, some people don't. But
I liked it more playing it with like three other people. So it was like the 4 quad game screen.
That's pretty much the only way I like playing that game.
Yeah,
It was fine.
it was fine.
Did you guys screen peek
What's that?
when you're playing multiplayer?
How could you not?
yeah, it's
I mean,
impossible.
not because I was trying to, but
But was it a strategy to win for you guys?
Yeah, I think so for me. I remember playing it in college. We were, looking for, we smoke a joint out in the parking lot, go in and play GoldenEye. And I would insist on playing Shoot to Kill, where it's one hit, instant death. And I knew the maps better than the other guys did, so I could see where they were running. And I would just go and I would time it.
So people hated playing with you.
They hated
basically?
playing with me.
My friends in college really were into like Halo, like a lot.
Yeah.
And so I had like my friends knew all the maps and they're just in there sniping people and I'm like, dude, I don't want to play. So when I would play, when they would find me, I basically applied like a real life, like what would you do in real life? Here, hold that. So whenever they would find me and we were cornered, I would drop all my grenades and then we would both die and they would be so mad.
That's brilliant.
And they're like, why? I'm like, the way I look at it in real life, if I'm going to die, you're coming with me. And
Thelma and Louise, man.
That's it. That's how if I'm going out, we're all going out. So that's how I.
That's why I carry a grenade with me at all times.
at all times, right in your pocket. Is that a grenade in your pocket? Are you happy to see me? So,
Well,
yeah, so that's
Christian,
how
you
I
can
play.
never tell with you, buddy. I mean, it's both.
Good thing I'm wearing pants.
Do it. Do it.
I had to turn Ryan's mic off because it was just
ice cubes?
It was an ear rape of just ice cubes swirling in the glass.
gotta get that last cherry.
Pause.
Big time. It's a buy.
Okay. Well, I already know the answer for Ryan, but I think for public record, we should probably say it. Ryan, what is the silliest fear that you have?
My silliest fear?
Yeah. I think I know what his answer is.
Well, I think the first one comes to mind is probably bears.
Yep, I knew it.
I don't like bears. Bears scare the living crap out of me. I don't know why, but yeah, that one's there. However, if we're talking like, I think letting my kids down, that's probably my next one. But that's
Inevitable.
Oh, come on.
So, no, he's a great dad. He's a great dad.
Gut punch.
oh, that was good.
No,
that was good. No, that was that was there.
an alley-oop.
That was there, and here
and
it
I
is.
did not mean it.
No, that was I lofted a
meant
softball right
Yeah.
there.
I,
That was slow pitch.
anybody I know. I'm probably sitting at the table here with the two best dads that I know.
I don't know. You know what? I would like to superimpose the video of John getting the living crap kicked out of him by like 8 different kids at
today.
the trampoline party today. I sent that to the group. If we can add that to this video right here in the corner. John got the Super Dad Award.
Like
Without a
a
doubt,
champ.
he took the gold belt.
Oh, fun.
That was funny.
We were at a birthday party, and it was
was
it's
a
a
birthday
trampoline
party.
place. It was called Sky Zone for those who aren't familiar with our locale. And they have like foam pits and balls and obstacles and stuff.
I had less than 0% interest in getting into this pit. Was not going to do it. And here's John.
And all the kids were loving him,
All the
like,
kids were just didn't.
chucking it.
His glasses are flying everywhere.
Stella headshotted me like 6 times.
I've never seen Stella be so accurate. I was super
Oh my-
proud, but also like, yo, can you tone it down? You're knocking his glasses off his face.
Clean off my face.
You piece of shit. Like, it was,
Release!
It
Yeah,
was,
she was really good.
Yeah. So
There's nothing better than kids laughing, and it just makes you want to be goofier and get into it more. So I
and
love it.
seeing all the cousins just kicking the shit out of Uncle John.
Dude, when I saw
was-
Stella,
that was amazing.
like in having fun, I was like, I'm not worried. She can't.
Nope.
She doesn't throw well. Wrong.
No,
not
she's
today.
got
And I kept giving them to her.
Yeah, here's another one. Here's another one. She's like, darn. I was like,
And every time he gets clocked, he just like plays it up.
It was fun.
That was good. And then you like slamming the kids off the trampoline wall. That was funny too. And that's probably right about the time you tweaked your back. That's where I saw that.
There comes a point in your life, probably around 37, 38, where you should stop jumping on trampolines. I'm 46, so my back hurts.
You were also like full on. There's surrounded by minuscule toddlers, and here's John 8 feet in the air. Come on, guys! Come on! He looks like Tom Hanks in Big, just like. Yeah,
It's fun.
So
every time I go to Sky Zone, there's like one dude that like takes it way too serious. Like, did you see the guy with the tank top? And he was just like,
Yes.
just like one handing it, like just going across the bar and going down. I'm like, did you
Ninja
even,
Warrior.
Did you even bring a kid?
excuse me, I'd like to get in here.
Bring a kid. He's just there.
Yeah, he's like, hey, your membership. I'm like, what are you? Oh,
What? It's a free country.
It's a free country. I thought this was America.
working on my lats. Yeah, I was blown away with this guy. He's just like, oh my god, like please don't fall on a child.
Yeah. So bringing it around.
I gotta get a Dippin' Dots.
Do you have a silly fear, Christian?
Oh, silly fear. I think my the thing that would be considered a silly fear is if like I was traveling and I got stuck somewhere. Like let's just
Like in Utica.
or like dude, it's like it's the thing that gives me the most anxiety. Like if I'm on the once I'm on the
understandable.
plane, I'm like cool. But I think it came from like my parents because when we would go back to Colombia, we have to get bring your passport. You have to have like their address, a phone number, and I think one of the years I was in my 20s and I went by myself. My parents were already over there, and I went to visit. And I've usually had no problem like at customs, like ever.
Don't make that sound in the microphone again.
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
I apologize. That's a horrible thing to do.
Shake it off.
Sorry.
So anyway, I went by myself, and then the guy was like, "All right, well, where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm gonna go see my mom, and we're staying at my grandma's house." And he goes, "What's the address?" I'm like, "I can tell you the address, like the neighborhood." And he's like, looking at me weird. He's like, "Well, what about their phone number?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't have the phone number. Like, I just told you where we were going and like it's visiting my family. You can see my passport. It's been like a bunch of times. Like, we're cool. He goes, you need to tell me what that phone number is, or I'm putting you back on that plane to Miami right now.
What?
And I was like, oh, this is intense. And I'm like, first of all, dude, I paid for this ticket, and this shit is expensive. Like, you're not putting me back on a plane. So then I had to go look through my phone, and I'm like, here's the number. And he's like, next time, be prepared. And I was like, you're such an ass.
Next time, don't wake up on the wrong side of the
Yeah.
bed
I
and
was
go
like,
do
You
your
know what?
job.
Nothing helps a bad mood like spreading it around.
Yeah, I was like, all
that's-
right. Yeah, I was like, now flip it from the last time when we went to Spain, when I went to Spain for work, and I came back, the lady was like, America. And she was unbelievably polite, had a ton of questions of like, how do you feel about what's going on? And I was like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And she was just super nice. I'm like, there's a line behind me. She goes, they can wait. And I'm like dying because the line is huge and the people behind me are getting pissed. And I was like, all right, I'm trying to wrap it up. And she was super nice. And so I'm like, okay, so they're not all bad. But my biggest fear is like getting stuck somewhere because then I don't have any means to like get back, or like I've trying to figure it out is like such a hassle and it costs money. And that part to me is like the crappy part. So-
Maybe a good idea for a travel show is just Kristian terrified in an airport.
Was it naked?
We take his bags. We take his passport. Is
naked and afraid. Christian edition.
Jesus, that would be the
that a grenade in your pocket?
getting excited. You're going somewhere. We'll just put you somewhere random.
I love it.
Herkimer.
They'd probably
Come
send me
on, we're
somewhere,
going to the diamond mines.
Diamond mines, man.
they'd probably send me somewhere cold. They'd be like, "This is good." For you.
Herkimer. It always snows there. What? Is that me? I was like,
I hope the mics picked that up.
this is good TV. So what is our time here, Brendan? What do we got?
57, almost 58 minutes.
I don't know if we want to. I think this is something we could do. It's interesting. I put into Chat GBT a prompt for it to spit
what
out
did you put it into?
a prompt. I
What- chat
prompted
what?
GBT.
It's GPT.
GPT.
Well,
What did I
maybe
say?
no. He's talking about
He sounds like my dad trying to pronounce Netflix.
Walmart's.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Netflix. Anywho, the AI
Really say it like that?
search engine thingy.
Yeah, she does. My mom does. Yeah.
I had to spit out a drama scene, and I was wondering if you guys wanted to do a table read with me.
She'd get so mad if I. She won't watch this. Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah?
You're my favorite.
Sure. what's
Okay,
this?
we'll pass this to Brendan
Three
because
angry men?
he'll be the narrator.
Your dad did comment on our last video, by the way.
Now I'm going to give you guys a
How
choice.
many minutes in did he comment though?
He watched the whole thing.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. You liked it.
He did. Yeah.
You liked it. So he's going to watch this, and dramatic acting. So let's try to
And scene.
be real with this. So I'm going to give you guys a choice. You can pick the character you want. All right, which one best suits your best suits who you think you
Represent.
are. Yeah, represent. So
Is
the
there,
first
is there a character named Kristian Gallego Christian?
Diego.
Diego
Wait,
Diego.
their names don't necessarily matter, but for the sake of the script here. So we have Jack. He's in his late 30s. He's rough around the edges, and he's desperate.
That's
Okay.
you.
My mom and dad almost named me Jack, actually.
Jack Mehoff.
Yeah, my middle name. That's what I would change it to. And then we have Marcus, who's in his early 40s.
I don't want to be Mark.
He's calculating, and he's an ex-con.
He's an ex-con?
Yeah, he's a convict.
Oh.
So basically, the one guy hasn't gotten caught yet, but the other guy did.
Yeah, he's
What's the third guy?
Ben.
This is Muriel.
mid
Where's it the library?
30s. His name's Ben. He's nervous, and he's caught in the middle.
Stuck in the middle with you. I'll take one.
Yeah, who do you want?
I don't know. You
I'll do rough around the edges.
You want to do rough around the edges? That's Jack. Okay. And Ryan, do you want to be Marcus, the ex-con, or do you want to be Ben, the nervous caught in the middle? guy?
I think
Have
Mark.
you-
I think
Marcus-
Mark would want you to be Marcus. So
Marcus does get to smoke a cigarette in this, so
Okay.
Do you know how
keep
this
that in
ends,
mind.
John? Have you read this through, or is this like a surprise
I
for
read. Of
everybody?
course, I read it through. I highlighted it. I gave it so that you the highlighted lines are your lines.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And
Do I have to read what I'm doing, like in the parentheses?
Oh, Fade to Black. I like that song.
well, you sort of like you guys want to take a second, read it through, and then the parentheses is sort of like how you're gonna
Oh,
be
there we go.
exuding.
Okay, let's just go. Let's just go.
You just want to go?
Yeah, let's go. Who's gonna?
You want me to start from the top of
Take it from the
Yeah,
top.
read
You want to
that.
do it like
Last
this?
chance.
You just want to say what the setting is, Brendan?
He's got to
Yeah.
read the
All right.
setting.
The last chance. So we've got Jack, late 30s, rough around the edges. Marcus, early 40s, calculating, ex-con. Ben, mid-30s, nervous, caught in the middle. Setting, a dimly lit motel room. The air is thick with tension. A duffel bag sits on the bed.
There's only one bed.
We're sharing it.
That's not.
That's a tough room.
Where's this?
Oh, sorry, I
What
interrupted.
did I
you,
sign
Jack.
up for? Shut up! This isn't. This wasn't the deal, Marcus. We're supposed to be in and out. No one was supposed to get hurt.
And yet, here we are. Plans change, Jack. That's life.
We have a dead guy in the trunk, Marcus. That's not life. That's murder.
Self-defense. He pulled first.
Bullshit! You shot him before he even reached. I saw it.
Oh my God! I'm scared. The cops!
No. Okay, we're not screwed unless one of you decides to start growing a conscience.
And what if we do?
Well, I guess then I dig another grave.
Silence. Heavy. The weight of his words sinks in. Ben's breathing quickens. Jack's fists clench.
We can't pretend this didn't happen.
But that's exactly what we're gonna do. Okay. Hey, clean up. When we get paid, we move on. Think real hard, boys. Are you with me? Or are you against me?
The room is suffocating with tension. Jack's eyes flicker to the duffel bag, probably full of cash. Ben swallows hard.
Pause.
A choice must be made.
Scene.
That was good. Bravo. You were talented.
Thanks.
It was
Ryan, you nailed
I'm
it.
sorry, dude. It was really good right up until
Swallows hard.
yeah, Ben.
So glad I didn't pick Ben.
I think that was a hit. I think that could be going forward.
That needs its own theme song.
Play maybe Karma's Army on the way out for that one then?
No, we need.
Dude, I'm also
a new
glad I didn't
original.
have you because that breathing the whole time, I was like, I'm going to pass.
You
out.
really nailed the nervous.
did.
He really
I
nailed the
actually
nervous
started-
character.
I was doing the breathing to be silly. I didn't realize, and then I
It
read
was so in
his
character.
breathing was fast. It was like, oh, I got this.
Nailed
Nailed
it. So
it.
good job, guys. And hey, thanks for joining us this week on the Garage Podcast, Humanity's Last Podcast. And
Bro,
I'm John. I just want to say thank you for sticking through this video and watching to the end. Kristian, Ryan, you guys want to say anything before we head out?
Thanks for having me. This was super fun.
It was awesome.
It was good.
Playing us out. This is going to be Get in My Van by Karma's Army.
Alright guys, thanks for watching today's video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that little bell to get notified whenever we post a video.